2020 offering a rough start to crypto miners, or is it? And a full rundown of the coin developer guests we'll be having on the channel in the near future. Welcome back. My name is Seth Estrada, and if you're watching this video, you're probably on my YouTube channel, Seth Estrada, or you're on bittubers.com or perhaps library.tv on the channel Mind Your Biz. Feels good to say that. Special thanks to Mind Your Biz for sponsoring this episode. Check out the mindyour.biz blog for a tutorial on how to set up your own privately hosted VPN using Vultr in just one click. Included in that tutorial is a voucher to get a $50 credit for first-time Vultr users. You can use it for anything from running a masternode to having your own private cloud server. That's right. You'll get $50 credit for using the code that you see there. First up, let's talk about the market. The top 100 cryptocurrencies by market cap. Kudos to Monero and the Monero team for making the top 10 again. Clearly, privacy is king in the minds of some people. Again, as you know on this channel, we've advocated for privacy-oriented and privacy-first coins for some time. It's a huge priority, and we'll talk more about that later on in the programming, but just wanted to acknowledge that the Monero team has broken the top 10 once again. Hopefully, they'll continue to march forward. Looking at the top 50, however, I don't know how many more privacy-oriented coins we see. There's Monero, but let's see if Zcash is far behind. Yep, a little farther behind than I'd hoped. We have Dash. Zcash in the 31 spot. And then it looks like that's going to be it for our top 50 coins by market cap and privacy-oriented options. Clearly, the industry has a long way to go before we put the premium on privacy that we really should have been doing from day one. CoinGecko shows Monero at the 11th spot in the stacked ranking. Not sure why that is. Not sure if maybe they're waiting a little bit longer to declare that number 10 spot, the XMR teams. But let's take a look at the developer score and see how the stacked rankings work at that point. Well, with the developer score, Monero, well, still in the number 11 spot with as many contributors, watchers, and forks on GitHub as before. Now, of course, if you talk to coin developers, if you talk to anybody from Monero, they'll tell you that everybody wants to fork Monero for their own privacy-oriented projects, and they're not wrong. There are many, many derivative projects. You see right here, over 2,000 derivative projects from the Monero coin project. We'll see what happens in the near future as that privacy orientation of new crypto forks and new crypto coins continues into 2020. My crystal ball is telling me that we're going to see many, many privacy-oriented projects. And it's to that end that we're doing our upcoming developer interview series. Not just for privacy-oriented coins, but for some others as well. So stay tuned. You'll see the full list in just a moment. I think you're going to be really pleasantly surprised by the kinds of opinions that we get and who's offering them. That's the market at a glance. Bitcoin is on the rise on a steady rip towards 8,000. Let's take a quick look at Bitcoin in general. Again, guys, I have to use the disclaimer before we look any further. None of this is advice. Do your own research, don't get wrecked. But this is Bitcoin today. One Bitcoin is going to give you $7,890.11, give or take, in US dollars, the US dollar equivalent. And apparently that's been quite a jump as of just today. So little rip for this afternoon from all the way up from the low today. Let's see, low today of just under 7,400 all the way up to 7,800. That's pretty cool. Great to see some volatility in the market. Again, this channel doesn't offer advice and I don't offer technical analysis. However, volatility is obviously a good thing. Where there's volatility, there are day traders. Where there are day traders, there's volume. Where there's volume, there's activity. It all feeds a cycle, right? It feeds a positive upward cycle in the view of at least people like me who are not particularly well educated when it comes to finance, but who like seeing activity, right? Activity indicates some kind of value. And with Bitcoin, of course, the core value proposition is clearly there. It is the de facto gold standard. It's the de facto reserve currency of crypto today. So it's good to see it doing well. Let's jump over to what to mine. and take a look at the NVIDIA numbers for today. These are averages, by the way, another disclaimer right here. You'll notice that for the methodology here, I've selected every single one of the NVIDIA-oriented cards that whattomine.com has available, and every single one of the algorithms that it can mine. Put the cost for power at 10 cents, I'm going to say 1/10 of a dollar, 10 cents, and then put the sort by at 7-day profitability and the difficulty at 7-day. Why 7-day? If you haven't watched this segment before on my channel, this is my reasoning. You can buy the dip, so to speak, when it comes to purchasing and acquiring cryptocurrency, and that's phenomenal. Some people call it catching the knife. If you can really catch those really deep valleys in the price action, and that's phenomenal if you have the skills to be able to do that. However, doing that in a way that really that's really fully Gnostic, we'll say, I think takes a lot more experience and expertise than people let on. It's kind of a joke, right? It's kind of a meme to say, just buy the dip. It's easy. Just buy the dip. If you say just mine the dip, well, mining requires setup. Mining requires equipment. Mining requires power. Mining requires scale if you want to do it really, really well, especially for cryptocurrencies that have an extremely high number of participants mining on those networks. And so realistically, what you're going to do when you start crypto mining is you're probably going to mine the averages in the same way that the savvy investor, from everything that I hear, this is not advice, the savvy investor doesn't rule out dollar cost averaging in before then executing some kinds of trades according to a plan. Again, not advice from me, didn't hear it from me, but when it comes to mining and when it comes to dollar cost averaging in, it just kind of makes sense to understand what the impact is over a given period of time, right? Well, okay, even if that doesn't make sense to you, that's the methodology that I'm using here. So hopefully it makes sense. I think that we can reproduce some of the results that we see here when we look at 7-day averages, and we don't have to worry about flipping algos on our mining rigs every 24 hours. That's just exhausting, especially if you're tuning in and you have a mid-scale mine. And by that, let me characterize that as anything over $250,000 in capitalization. You have a lot of GPUs, you have a lot of ASICs or a lot of FPGAs in some kind of mining appliances in a small warehouse, maybe in a storage unit. Maybe you have some other facility where you're getting extremely good cost for your electricity, and you're trying to mine, and you're trying to mine with that mindset of I want to mine the dip, or I want to try to find coins that are not yet exploited, or I want to try to do day zero mining or find early projects or whatever. Definitely, it's far more easy to set and forget when you have a large-scale mine, especially if you have a bespoke configuration, meaning custom builds for every other rig. If you have one uniform build for every rig in your mid-scale mine, obviously it's easier to switch from one coin to another, but it's still a non-trivial task when it comes to setting up certain kinds of environmental variables, we'll say. Maybe you do have to increase the amount of RAM in a given system. Maybe it's a CPU mineable coin where not every one of the rigs in your mine is able to mine it. So anyway, I'm kind of waxing on a bit too long here in the setup, but that's the methodology. We're going with averages. We want to make sure this is easy for anybody to follow. So looking at the top of the list, we've got swap. Look at that, swap. Now this is not advice, but there's swap. But so is Zcoin towards the top of the list, and then Grin and Beam. It's great to see some privacy-oriented projects topping the list there, including also Zell and Z Classic. Clearly, they're in the money. They're in the profit right there. It's not by much, but there is some profit there, apparently, at 10-cent power. Ethereum and Ethereum Classic are also in the money when it comes to NVIDIA cards, apparently, based on this breakdown here. So is Eternity, Ion, and that's the bottom of the list. Stack ranking ends with Ion on what to mine, but it starts with privacy-oriented projects like Swap, Zcoin, Beam, and Zell. So excited to see that. Same with Z Classic. So excited to see that. Let's swap over to AMD and just take a look at what the data says here. Same methodology. Should mention also, I didn't mention it before, that I have a volume filter applied here at what to mine so that we're not seeing any projects that are lower than 1/10 of a Bitcoin in daily volume. Why would I do that? Well, I'm doing that because for our purposes, you may be tuning in and have a mid-scale mine, or we may have many at-home or small-scale miners tuning in, and if everybody rushes out to find a smaller coin network, well, there might not be enough daily volume to be able to support all of us mining, and then for those of us who need to liquidate on a daily basis in order to pay some overhead, there might not be enough carrying capacity for everybody who's interested to do that. So I'm looking at coins that are over 1/10 of a Bitcoin in daily volume. Let's calculate again here for AMD and get the freshest numbers we can. And the freshest data set tells us that Ethereum and Ethereum Classic are in the money. Of course, so is NiceHash, or so is any kind of, I'm sure, mining rig rentals as well, if you wanted to use their service and then sell your hash power to somebody else directly. Definitely would recommend mining rig rentals over NiceHash for the reason of decentralizing the hash power as opposed to allowing NiceHash to direct all of your hash power. But it's apparent now that Ethereum and Ethereum Classic mining, and I imagine some other Dagger Hashimoto variants, are going to be on the top of the list. Kind of sad to see several crypto notes not profitable at 10-cent power based on the numbers that What to Mine is offering here. That's a real bummer. Okay, let's open up the mining calculator Crypto Zone. And Crypto Zone, we've got all the NVIDIA graphics cards here. We're going to do the same thing, same methodology, where we'll just give one card to each possible model that's listed here. Now we've got cards that go all the way back to the 780, the 970, and the 980, even clear back to the 750 Ti. And that may not be the most profitable thing for most miners or for most people watching this show today, but it will give us some kind of indication of what the profits may be. Network value is going to go with 7-day averages, and exchange values, of course, we want to go with, we do want to have some averages there as well. So we'll go with the 3-hour average, because even if you do have to liquidate, you might not be able to do so very fast. It should take you a little bit of time to do that. So calculating for an average of every single NVIDIA graphics card that's available. Wow. Okay. Now this is part of the reason that I like to get numbers from several different crypto mining calculators, and why I wind up going back to whattomine.com. Generally speaking, the numbers, there are fewer coins selected or fewer coins available to view, but the numbers tend to be a little more accurate. However, it's important to check out a couple different sources, just like you would when you're doing your due diligence on any other sort of research when you do your own research. But here on CryptoZone, Electroneum looks like it's at the top of the list, and with all those cards, if you just had one of each NVIDIA card, clearly you'd be doing over $4,000 per day. That doesn't seem realistic, especially considering the Kryptonite V7 for Electroneum fell to ASICs some time ago. So don't know what to think of that. And by CryptoZone's own admission, the net hash on many of the other projects here towards the top of the list is outdated. Let me pop that up a little bit bigger, the text size a little bigger, so maybe you could read that a little bit more clearly. It says that's outdated. Results may be inaccurate because coin network data hasn't been updated for more than an hour. Yikes! So don't know what's going on there with the APIs that they're using, or with the coding of their website if they're drawing directly from those coin networks. Bummer. Nilu, LuckyBit, GWay Coin, Zellcash, all very high on the list, but and it looks like we're not out of profit until quite a ways down. Yeah, it looks like Zcoin is on the lists in the money, Ethereum, Genesis, Ether1, Litecoin Z, and even BitTube. I'm wondering about that. I wonder which NVIDIA cards are so good at the Kryptonite Saber algorithm, a variant of Kryptonite Heavy, that would be profitable on NVIDIA when it's not profitable on AMD at all today. So that's, in my mind, that looks a little bit suspect. Alloy apparently is not running, apparently is chain dead. So don't know what's going on there either. Has me a little bit concerned. Let's drop out the values there for NVIDIA. Let's throw in some values for AMD, and we only have all the way up through the Vega 64 as options here on CryptoZone. Again, the energy cost is the same, averages are the same. We'll calculate one more time and see what CryptoZone says for Team Red. Looks like Electroneum still, woo, we have a winner. And it's profitable by $10,000 per hour. Again, hey, if you got a couple, just literally like 2 or 3 AMD cards lying around and you want to mine some Electroneum for me, somebody take this to the CEO of the pools that mine Electronium, and you give them my voucher, okay? By bonded courier, you tell them that I am owed, what's that? $230,000 by the end of the day today for our hash rate. And I will get you back for it. I'm good for it, okay? All right, so do me that solid. Looks like it's the same list. Nilu, LuckyBit, Alloy, Zelcash. Something is really not right here at CryptoZone. Don't know what it is. So we're going to throw those numbers, go all the way back over to what to mine. Quick pro tip, if you know what the hash rate is of your cards and you want to check out a little bit better info for yourself, then you can always edit these values right here in place on the What to Mine website. And further pro tip, number 2. You can go all the way to the Coins tab at the very top and then search for the coin that you're most interested in. Let's just say, for example, that you were interested in the CryptoNote coin Conceal Network, and you knew that your hash rate was, let's just say, 777 kilohash, right? So let's go with 3 zeros on the end of that, and that your power consumption was literally 2 watts because your cards are magic, and your cost basis is, we'll just say right there, pool fee is still 1%, which is typical, and you inherited it by purchasing it for Tree Fitty from a friend. So that's your hardware cost. Everything else kind of stays the same, and you can calculate from there. Some of the other values that we would normally have on the main GPU page are not available to us, but this is specific to just one coin. So now we can see that per hour, with all the parameters I listed above, you'd be earning about $3.42. Hey, look at that. You'd earn about Tree Fitty every hour that you mine. So you'd ROI once an hour, so to speak. That's a fast way for you to find coins that you're most interested in and to get more accurate numbers that are much more targeted towards what you're interested in. So there you go. 2 pro tips from yours truly, totally free. But guys, that's the mining report for January 6th, 2020. Let's talk about upcoming interviews for right here on the channel. I am very pleased to announce that I'll be interviewing Mr. Tron Black of the Ravencoin Project. You know him, you love him, you want to see more of him, you're going to on this channel. We have the Zcoin Project interviewing as well, Mr. Ruben Yap, thank you so much. PivX, Brian Dorian, aka Snappy Snap, is going to be on the channel revisiting the progress of the PivX project. You may be wondering, Seth, hey, you normally cover proof of work projects. What's going on here? Well, privacy, duh. Can't wait to talk to him. We also have Pirate, the Pirate Chain Project. We'll have representatives from the Pirate Chain community on the channel very soon to talk about how they were one of the first to use not only DPoW, but also Z transactions only to maintain privacy. Raptorium, a CryptoNote project. Really excited to talk to the Raptorium team. And BitCash, an extremely exciting project. We'll be talking about not only their project, but also privacy as they see it in banking. SafeCoin with Mr. Jeff Galloway will be revisiting the progress that the SafeCoin team has made with safe trade and other technologies as part of their ecosystem since last we spoke. But wait, Billy says, there's more. The rest of these are not quite yet scheduled, but we have Zano in the works. Can't wait to finally make this interview happen. We've got Zell, that's right, Mr. Miles Manley, as well as Dan Keller and the team. We'll see who exactly from the roster is able to make it, but we're figuring out the schedule for that one right now. CCX, alias Conceal Network. Can't wait to talk to them about their crypto note-based project. Nerva, CPU-oriented proof-of-work crypto note project. And we've got the lead developer for Crypto Idle Miner coming on as well. That's right, lead developer for Aura Games. They have their own token, as well as a really fun game that allows you to while away your free time learning how to mine cryptocurrencies and manage large-scale mines. It's pretty cool. A representative from the Komodo platform, we're trying to iron out a time with them as well, but we do have a commitment. And then Amity Coin, it's the best come-up crypto coin that you haven't heard of yet. And so I may have already let the cat out of the bag, but we'll be talking to representatives from their network as well. Who's this? It's Mr. Bob Summerwill, of course, of the ETC Cooperative. We'll be talking to him briefly about his thoughts on not only privacy, but also smart contracts moving into 2020. There's a lot of infrastructure that needs to shift for us to preserve privacy while still maintaining the solid nature of contracts and of commerce. And I think that this is going to be an extremely enlightening conversation. Can't wait to talk to Bob. Saber Maram from the BitTubers project. Last time we checked in with him, it was merely bit.tube. There's been a massive shift. Can't wait to catch up with him about the changes. The Blur network is not dead. Contrary to popular belief, many projects like Blur are doing quite well. Can't wait to talk to their community. Snowgem, we spoke to TXID and Dax some time ago. It's time to have them back on and get a snapshot of their progress. We'll talk to them about privacy and talk to them about some of the updates on their project since we last spoke and get their thoughts on privacy in general for cryptocurrency, as well as the LBRY team. That's right, LBRY.tv. Now, this is my channel, you can see right here, but also we just want to talk to them about their protocol, talk to them about how the future will look if we can preserve privacy and anonymity while also doing the sorts of things that we enjoy doing in 2020. Namely, shooting videos where we dox ourselves and publishing them. How do we maintain that balance? And then the Haven protocol. Last time we spoke to them, there was a completely different roster. It's time to catch up and see what all the changes are. And then the boys from Loki. That's right. You know them, you love them. I already used that joke. These guys, you know who they are. And I'm excited to see them back on the channel. Interview that we had with Simon and Josh was a lot of fun. And then, of course, with Jeff, their lead architect on the Loki net, which is a pivotal part of the Loki ecosystem and their stack. So extremely excited to have another sit down with these gentlemen and talk about the current state of Loki development. Now, there may be a mystery box, and I'm not sure just yet if we can make this happen, but there is a mining OS that you probably haven't heard of that I may be able to get on for an interview. No, I'm not talking about HiveOS. No, I'm not talking about Simple Mining or EthOS or even these new guys, Hashrate, who are killing it, by the way. All the reviews are positive. I'm talking about somebody else. So you can guess in the comments if you want. I'm not going to confirm or deny, but I'm really excited to potentially have a mining OS developer on the channel. It's been a while since we've spoken to anyone like that, so hopefully I can make that happen. Did you not see your favorite project on this list? Well, we've got a remedy for that. All you have to do is go to Twitter, mention me, tag me at Seth Estrada, and then also mention your favorite coin projects that you'd like to see interviewed publicly. Here's the caveat. I'm doing developer interviews publicly for free. I don't ask for a bounty, and I don't ask for the community to bend over backwards to try to find some way to pay me when it comes to interviewing developers. Now, project reviews, I've done them in the past and I've accepted some bounties, but frankly, between you and me, I kind of regret that. That hasn't been my favorite thing. If you have a project that comes on that you support, that you like, and I interview them and you like the interview, feel free to send me a tip or something, really. But you can do that in any currency. It can be Bitcoin, it can be Litecoin, it could be Ethereum, it could be Monero, for example. It could be any number of other coins for which I have a wallet. It doesn't have to be just one currency. So if you like the content, if you like the interviews, by all means, your support is appreciated. But so is the support of our sponsors. Going to Mind Your Biz, for example, and checking out the tutorial and then taking them up on the offer to get a free $50 credit for masternodes or for VPN or for whatever you want to do. That's also a huge support. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video to this point. Thank you so much for being supportive. Thank you so much for tweeting at me over on Twitter so that I know which projects I should have featured in the upcoming series. You're the reason I make this media. I love your face, and I will see you in the next one. You wanna